Okay, girls, so question 27. So for this one, it's asking us to write the following fraction as decimal. So this one is different to the one that was done previously when it was asked to change improper fraction to a mixed number fraction. In this case, it's asking us to go into decimals. So again, we have to remember that a fraction is talking about a division, but this time the division, we are not going to stop with a remainder. We are going to continue until we find the decimal form or that fraction. So let's start. So 2 over 5 is also 2 divided by 5. So how many times does 5 goes into 2? It doesn't. So 0, and we write our decimal point. And after we have written our decimal point, we do the same underneath. And from that moment on, we can put a 0. We're not affecting our number because we're putting a 0 to the right, which is not affecting after the decimal point, is not affecting the value that we had. So now we ask, how many times 5 goes into 20? I look this as the whole number, 20, and I know it goes 4 times. Exactly 4 times, therefore, I have finished. So 2 over 5 is equal to 0.4 or 4/10. Fantastic. So the second one, 4 over 8. I can see that this fraction is not simplified. So I know that if I divide by 4 and divide by 4, then I get that this one is equal to 1 over 2. And if you do the same division, you will get to the same answer, but most of you will be able to identify that 1 over 2 is the same as 0.5 or 5/10. Now 13 over 20. I'm going to do it here. 13 over 20. So how many times does 13 goes into 20? It goes 0 times. And I'm able to put my decimal point and my decimal point, and after I have done my decimal point, I can add another 0. So then I ask how many times 20 goes into 130. It goes 6 times, and I get a remainder of 10. Now, this is a tricky bit, and what I want you to remember, because I already have put here down my decimal point, then I always add a 0. Every time that I have a remainder, I add a 0. So how many times 20 goes into 100? What I have here, I'm going just to highlight it here. I'm looking at this full number here. How many times 20 goes into 100? It goes 5 times. Exactly 5 times, so I don't have any more remainder. Therefore, 13 over 20 is the same as 0.65 or 65 hundredths. Okay, and 7 over 10. Now, again, 7 over 10, I can just say, okay, I'm going to do the division, and you will get to the same answer that I'm going to write here. But also, you can identify that how do we write the tenths decimal place? The place value for tenths, we write it as 1 over 10. Therefore, this one is going to be equal to 0.7 or 7/10. That is exactly what we just said. I hope you find it useful.